Hi there, and welcome to the weekly roundup. I am super excited to have you here, and what we're gonna, as many of you know, in the roundup, I'd like to focus on a comment or some thoughts from the community here. And today we have something very special, which is the resolution of a cliffhanger. If you were there with us Wednesday when we did our weekly live Q&A session, Pat posted something like this. Pat, in the comments, she said, and I read this live, I continue to have sleep-related thoughts even though I'm free from insomnia. I've realized it's because, and then there was nothing. There was nothing. And then I was looking for like the insight she had. And then later on, there was another comment from Pat where she said, I have to share it. And there was nothing again. So me and Alina were like, where's the insight? We want this. And she kind of left us with a cliffhanger. But you know what? The next day, Pat actually emailed me and she said, sorry for the cliffhanger. This is what I meant to say, which I will share with you in a second. But before let's do our roundup. So Monday, we had Insomnia Insight number 475. Pardon the typo here. Let me just fix this annoying there. We had Insomnia Insight number 475, in which I introduced the brand new concept of tangibility. Well, actually, brand new to, it's never been, we've never really talked about it before, but it's been in existence for a couple of months or so. And although it sounds kind of abstract, like what's this? Well, I think it's quite helpful. In fact, I had a client who found it really helpful to learn about tangibility. And very briefly, it refers to sleep efforts. Tangible sleep efforts are things like blackout curtains, like things we can hold on to. Intangible are like when we try to mind control. I can't think about this. I have to think about this. And if this sounds familiar to you, then check out Monday's episode. Now, Tuesday, we had Heard Online number 20. We looked at an article in the Daily Mail and talked about this heartbreaking game of telephone where a lot of media outlets, they find something in a scientific article and then they purposely distort it to make it sound so terrifying and make the headlines so alarming just to get attention. It's really, really sad. But if you want to learn more about like what's going on out there, then check out Tuesday's episode. Now Wednesday we had our the live Q&A I refer to with Pat's cliffhanger, etc. Coach Alina was there, and Coach Alina actually shared with us like the origins of tangibility, because this teaching really came from Coach Alina. So more about that there as well. And then yesterday, there was Talking Insomnia 114, where Kyle shared his journey back to feeling whole and sane after I thought he was going crazy and literally thought he was losing his mind. But it didn't happen yesterday. So actually, this is a roundup, and it becomes like a, I don't know, round down, I don't know, round forward. We're going to look into the future here and see that actually tomorrow we're gonna release this, because Kyle, he had a conflict yesterday, so we recorded it today. But tomorrow, look out for it. I've already uploaded it as a premiere for tomorrow. Kyle's really remarkable story. Now to the cliffhanger. So let me share my screen with you. I have prepared it. It was an email titled "I'm sorry," but of course, Pat, no reason to be sorry. Just glad that you're sharing this with us. So yes, Pat says she couldn't finish the comment. I think maybe it was too long, so like the software cut it off. But anyway, here it is. As you and I talked about, Pat and I had she was a client of mine, and we had a conversation. As you and I talked about, I continue to have some sleep-related thoughts, even though I have been free of insomnia for a while. Yes, some bad nights here and there, but mostly I'm fine. But I kept wondering why this is, and it bothers me. Anyway, I think it's that I continue to have an old way of thinking that came up when I first got insomnia. Now I have a new way of thinking thanks to your channel. However, I cannot delete my old way of thinking. It's still there, and I'm confident it will fade eventually. I'm glad I figured this out. I have to make room for my thoughts and check for accuracy and refocus. It's funny, the thoughts do not make me anxious, and they're fleeting, but still there. Sorry for the cliffhanger. What Pat has seen there is that, and Pat says it's, in a more straightforward way. I think my way of teaching often becomes kind of convoluted, but really, I believe this 100%. When we have been in some type of struggle, we form thought habits, sort of like an AI program there that, it automatically creates like a sequence of thoughts or particular thoughts that are stored there as as an old way of thinking. And even though our thoughts generally change, our thoughts habits become different, you know, those like old thought patterns can still pop up here and there. And just as Pat says, when we understand this, there's really no struggle. When we don't see this quite clearly and think, why am I thinking this? Why am I reacting this way? I shouldn't be reacting this. There should be no fear at all. There should be no worry thoughts. Then that can lead to some inner struggle and more of those thoughts. But when we go like, of course, there still exists an old pattern of thinking, and I can just leave it be, and it will fade by itself. I believe this is the way. So I want to thank Pat so much for sharing this with us. I hope this has been a valuable week on the channel for you. Thank you as always for being here and taking part in our community. And if you're finding your way to where you want to be, where you're living a free life, you're enjoying life, you are sleeping well, then that is wonderful. If the road is not quite clear, if you find that it is tricky, then please head over to our website and check out our coaching options if you decide to join. We look forward to seeing you on the other side. And with that said, again, I hope you have a wonderful weekend and look forward to another week with you next week. Bye for now.